Good day, Connor. LA Beast here, and today I've received a message from your good pal. I don't know who Kyle is, but Kyle knows you and he cares about you very much. And we are here today to wish you a very happy 29th birthday, whenever that may or may not have been. So you know what, Connor? Heck yeah, happy 29th birthday. And fair enough, you know what? It's your special day. What I enjoy doing, hopefully you're grilling up a delicious steak or enjoying a nice dinner. It's always good to treat yourself to a nice dinner every now and then. And or quite possibly, Connor, maybe you're chugging down a 6-pack of beer in 39 seconds or less using a leaf blower. Because you want, exactly, why? Because it's awesome. And as I chugged down, I was like stone cold sober. And it's like 39 seconds later, I had 6 beers in my system. And it was like a nice, easy-going buzz to where I enjoyed the rest of the day. So whatever you do, Connor, just hopefully enjoy a nice dinner and drink responsibly, my friend. Kyle has informed me that he's informed me a lot about you. That you're kind of like a cowboy. And you know what? I was also kind of like a cowboy, specifically for probably only 3 hours of my life when I tried to learn how to ride a 2,200-pound rodeo bull. Are the words coming out of my mouth right now? No, they're not. But we're going to keep on plowing forward. And yeah, like I think it took me like an hour and 17 minutes, like getting the motions down. And as soon as that gate opened, kablam! Like I was already falling off this rodeo bull. And it took guts. It took guts after taking a major slam from 6 feet in the air to get back up on that thing. Just like a cowboy, not quite 8 seconds, but 5.2 seconds roughly, I was able to ride that old rodeo bull. No, and I think his name was Charlie Manson, is what those guys named him. And the cool thing about that, the Jackass movies were filmed at that same ranch, Connor, which has nothing to do with anything. You're an artist. And you know what? I don't know specifically what kind of artist you may be. And for me, like I take ideas from my head and I'm able to like visualize that through my YouTube videos. I guess I'm an artist in my own way. But living in the state of California, roughly from 2013 to 2016, legally, I would get high, and I'd go in the garage, and I would try and paint like retro Nintendo game stuff. Super Mario Brothers 2 is one of my favorite games, and that's as far as I've ever gotten on this specific painting. Like I started like doing the lettering, and like totally screwed up. But nonetheless, I made it that far. I was proud of that painting. And then also, in 2013, when I was actually 29 years old, Connor, I tried to like go online to like buy pre-made Nintendo game paintings. They just didn't exist. So from one of my favorite games, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I don't know if you can see it. They don't have the training montage, but I painted Doc and Little Mac, like the training montage in between each level. Which is pretty cool. So you know what? I'm not the greatest artist. No, but exactly. Sometimes imperfection is perfection. Oh boy. Are you always willing to chase down a frog? Yes, according to Kyle. And for me, at Boy Scout camp, I was like fishing in the pond, and it was like green, and I had like green film on it, and like I fell into the water, and I was like freaked out that there were like giant toads, and like ever since then, I was not the biggest fan of frogs, and yeah, absolutely not. You would never see me chasing down a frog, which is why I had to cement my hand into a flower pot, and I hired this guy. His name was like Jules Sylvester, and he provides like reptiles and amphibians and frogs for movies and stuff. And like I came to the door with my hand cemented, and I was like, just let me explain. And like once I explained, I'd make YouTube videos. I had a fear of frogs. He was pretty cool. But there it is. Never in a billion years, as I was eating frog legs, did I think I'd be holding that frog. But then also in that video, I met, his name was BFF, Big Fat Fucker. He was like a 2.5-pound African bullfrog. But honestly, he was just like waddling on the table, and like I was cool, he was cool. And even though I still don't want to chase down frogs, it was a cool frog experience. And then I give you nothing but credit, Connor, for taking down some Gatorade Brown. That was a beast move And honestly, this Gatorade is from 1992. You can still see like the sediment, and like some old Gatorades like turn brown. And the fact that this is still orange is amazing. But with the Gatorade brown, to where I guess you accidentally gave yourself a kidney stone. I guess this is semi-equivalent, Connor. There's definitely a crow outside crowing there, but when I made homemade kombucha, that's a SCOBY, a symbiotic colony of bacteria and and yeast. I don't know if you can see it, but there was like, after like 3 weeks in a dark closet, like this thing had like green chunks, and like at the top of it had like mold and worms in there. And even though I didn't give myself a kidney stone, knock on wood, I'm sure that's very painful. I did give myself major diarrhea by consuming 3 liters of my own homemade kombucha, which didn't look right from the beginning. All right, so you know what? Maybe quite possibly Connor and Kyle, I can share some great moments that I had when I was 29 years old back in 2013. And the cool thing was, I was working as a beer salesman in Brooklyn, New York City. And again, like I graduated college, I worked for a beer company, and like I my bad, I just coughed twice during this message. I moved to California from 2008 to 2010. Then I moved back to New Jersey, got the same beer job back, worked there for 2 years, and I quit my job again, and like moved to California for the second time. But like this is when I started doing competitive eating. During lunch, I would find restaurants in like Brooklyn and New York City to try and do restaurant eating challenges. And like each day that I was sitting in traffic, I was like, what can I do next for my YouTube videos? And like, yeah, this was like, I had just turned 29. This was like February of 2013. And honestly, I don't know why. And thank you, Connor, for enjoying Crystal Pepsi. I don't know why. But like I purchased this for like $80. And growing up as a kid, like, I do remember my dad worked for Pepsi, and we would go from store to store to store, and we were setting up the Crystal Pepsi displays, and I was like, whoa, like the Pepsi looks like water. I'm like, my mind was blown. And my mind was blown. Well, fair enough. Was I blowing chunks all over my mother's brand new table in the basement at 29? Yes. But yeah, my mind is blown here today. That is my #1 video on my channel, and also. In 2015, this was pretty cool. At a Hollywood nightclub, like the ladies came out with like sparklers and like the first ever Crystal Pepsi, and me and my buddy mixed it with vodka, and we chugged down one of the first ever re-released brand new Crystal Pepsis, which is awesome. And then yeah, like again, I quit my beer job when I was 29. I had the 2 viral videos of smoking alcohol and drinking Crystal Pepsi, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. Yeah, and like I packed up my car again, and like I moved out to California, but like my bad, third cough. Along the way, I would stop at restaurants. Like I consumed a 3.5 pound ginormous cheeseburger to where like I would get like free T-shirts doing like eating challenges, driving across the country, and I even at the Big Texan when I was 29, I became the 8,955th person to complete the 72-ounce steak meal in roughly about 32 minutes. And actually, when like I moved back to New Jersey in 2010, I totally failed the ginormous steak. Like, that's how big it is. That was a cool experience. And then as soon as I got to Los Angeles, when I was 29, I met a bearded lady at the Venice Beach Freak Show, which is pretty cool. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, they're like, we want to fly you out to L.A., and like do an eating stunt live on late night television. And I was like, you don't have to fly me out because I'm moving there. And like my bags weren't unpacked. I didn't have a bed. But here I was with Jay Leno drinking raw eggs on live TV. And like I was surprised I got not a standing ovation. No, but everybody was like clapping. I won the prize of like a free steak certificate at Jay's favorite restaurant. And actually when he like came around the corner, he's like, hey guys, Jay Leno. And like Jay Leno's chin legitimately is like that big. He really does have a ginormous head and chin. And then also another cool experience. We're going to wrap this up about me being 29. I was invited on the Eric Andre show. They paid me money. Yeah, he was like, they wanted me to drink milk and throw up that milk, to which I did. No, but I also met Kato Kalin. I'm still friends with Kato Kalin to this very day. Kato Kalin was O.J. Simpson's house guest, and he was involved with the trial of the century, like back in 1994. But yeah, and the cool thing is, Connor and Kyle, because I barfed on TV when I was 29, I receive residual checks from Warner Brothers Studios. It's like once a year, I get a check for like $200. And like I never heard of the Eric Andre show prior, and I think it was an amazing experience. Just like I celebrated my buddy's 29th birthday at a Hollywood nightclub, as he was friends with Nick Swartzen, who's a great comedian, great actor in a lot of Adam Sandler movies. And none of us remember this photo being taken. And then I used to rent hotel rooms at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, but there's like a pool, and there are like balcony rooms that like overlook the pool, and like Friday, Saturday nights, like it's like an elite exclusive like nightclub. You're not getting through the bouncer unless you know somebody, or you can pay the $500 to like stay in one of those balcony rooms. And like it was my buddy Mike, Nick Swartzen, his brother. We had like a 30 case of beer, like 2 bottles of Jameson, and the bouncer's like, you can't really go up there with that, but I'm going to let you go up there with that. And again, at 29 years of age, as Nick Swartzen was dumping Jameson down my gullet, none of us remember this photo being taken. And there's actually a photo the next morning of like the empty Jameson bottle, all the liquor from the, they charge you like $500 if you like wipe all the alcohol clean from the refrigerator. But Nick Swartzen left me like $200 cash. He's a real great guy, is what I learned about him when I was 29. So, with that said, Connor, as I have no idea what I just said, I do know this. I hope that, just like in my experiences when I was 29, I hope that you also set goals for yourself. And don't be afraid to like take calculated risks to keep on climbing your ladder to success. I hope that great things fit themselves into your path and journey of life, my friend. And you know what? You're definitely 1 year older, but I hope within this year you can figure out ways to become wiser, to become a better human being, all around, to yourself, to your friends, to your family. Now, I really wish you nothing but the best, and I hope that you do not drink any more Gatorade Brown. So with that said, just always remember to breathe, like in my YouTube videos when I do the robot dance. Every now and then, you gotta put yourself in check, get your bearings straight, so you can like keep those blinders on, eliminate distractions, and keep on plowing forward to success. Because I know you can. And you know what? Enjoy the last year of your 20s. I think that's a pretty cool thing. So I will raise. I wish I had a Crystal Pepsi. I do actually have roughly 87 Crystal Pepsis in a dark closet, but I'll raise my beer and say cheers, Connor. Appreciate you. Happy 29th birthday. And fair enough, Connor and Kyle, just in case you're ever wondering what I look like standing in front of a fish tank. Exactly. This is the LA Beast. This is going to be a rough Sunday here after this one, but much love. Absolutely stay tuned times 1,050%. And of course, have a good day.